Okay, so Blizzard of 2018, we're driving our way home from Scott Road from a WWE event. I'm going to point this camera forward, that way I don't need to turn a light on in here, which could be distracting to Yvonne while she drives. Tonight's event, let's see. We started with Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt, which was a very fun match. Matt Hardy won it, kind of out of nowhere. Did the delete chants quite a bit. Both of them were over with the crowd. I thought the crowd liked both. When they were supposed to boo Bray, they did. But the crowd really did like Bray Wyatt quite a bit.
He was funny too.
And I have no idea why these guys are buried at the bottom of the card. Then they had, I think it's Daivari and Gulak against Kalisto and Grand Metalik. Some fun spots, but I really don't care about the 205 Live wrestlers, so that's a problem. As soon as the match started, I was like, all right, well, wake me up when this is over. But there were some nice spots, and Kalisto won it with the Salida del Sol, which was kind of fun to see live. So that was an interesting match. Then they had Kurt Hawkins against Goldust. Goldust won because Kurt Hawkins has lost a lot of matches in a row.
That was a really short one, right?
And it was, well, there were a couple of really short ones.
There were two short ones.
We'll get to that.
One of the really short ones.
Yeah, it was kind of lifeless for that. I mean, it was fun seeing Goldust and everything, but he has lost a step. And it's awkward because the entrance video they give him when he comes in is still the old Goldust. I was watching the footage on the Titantron video that he gets, and I'm like, those are matches from like about 20 years ago. I'm kind of surprised they don't just make it more recent stuff than that, but they don't. And my phone turned off, so let's get back up here. The Revival faced the Good Brothers. Yeah.
That was special.
That was interesting. Carl Anderson gets beat up a lot, and then Luke Gallows comes in and wins the match. At this point, I started realizing that the good guys were going to win pretty much bloody everything tonight, which is fine, I guess. But, yeah. Sorry, just the road's pretty crappy out here, so I think it's funny too. I've got people complaining on the Hockey Guy channel that I didn't cover the updated trade. We were out today, so I covered the trade that was made before I left home. Anyways, back to the matches of the night, and the Revival got beat up, and then Braun Strowman came out and beat them up. And the Revival, to me, tonight looked a lot like jobbers, and I really hope that's not where they're headed with it. I hope they get a tag title reign, but they're not being used correctly. I didn't think that the Good Brothers were a good matchup for them, and I'm calling them a Good Brothers, but it's, of course, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. They only refer to themselves as the Good Brothers. The Bar faced Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. This was the match of the night. Finn and Seth got some good spots in. There was a little bit of miscommunication between Finn and Seth during the match, a little bit after the match, but at the end, they're buddies. I think they're setting up a feud between the two of them, or I'm wondering if that might be a preview for what's going to happen going into WrestleMania. Perhaps we're going to see Seth and Finn put together, since they don't have anything else going on at Mania, and face the Bar for the tag titles at Mania. I'm totally fine with that. They have good chemistry in the ring. We know that Sheamus and Cesaro can go, and that was a lot of fun. Heath Slater and Rhino then faced the Miz Taraj. That was useless.
That one was not very exciting.
That was quick and boring. And the funniest part to me of the whole thing was just Heath Slater's entrance, which says, "I got kids, I need this job." And that's pretty much it. And Heath Slater nutshotting the Miz Taraj repeatedly. It was weird and awkward. So I don't, maybe that's a gimmick. I don't really know. Then Nia Jax faced Asuka.
That was fun.
That was a very good match. Should have been the main event. Nia Jax has come a long, long way. Nia's legitimately a good wrestler. She put on a few good moves that I really thought were quite good. She's much better than she used to be. When she started out on NXT, she was really kind of trash in the ring, and she's really picked that up. She's much better than what she was. Asuka, of course, is Asuka. She's fantastic. Of course, she won the match. She was amazing tonight. And the final match of the night, the main event, was Roman Reigns defeating Elias. The match of the night was the tag title match. The spot of the night was just Elias in the ring with the guitar. He was awesome. He sang that Vancouver sucks, and I cheered him, and I laughed at him. And by the time he was done singing his second song, I was in tears because I was laughing so hard. Elias deserves a main event push. Of course, Roman came out and beat him. During Roman's match, just to prove the limited moveset argument that some people argue against is real, I called all of his moves when he did them. There were 13 clotheslines, a kick, a punch, a Superman punch, and then a spear. Because I noticed during the match that he had limited moveset, so that's just from when I started calling it. I know that's the way WWE books them, that's the way they want them to look, but it kind of bites. So there you go. Do you have anything to add? No.
That was mostly fun. I do think the whole Peter Pan thing's funny, though.
Okay, so the Peter Pan thing she's talking about is the idea that fans clapping gives the wrestlers power to make their comeback.
There was a bunch of them that did it.
Because in Peter Pan it works with fairies.
I do believe in fairies.
So every time it happened during a match, she said, I do believe in fairies, I do, and she laughed.
But it's true. They'd be like all laying on the mat, and then everybody claps, and they just all of a sudden they just get their power, and they overpower the other guy.
See, it's hulking up, and this is something that Hulk Hogan made really famous, was hulking up. That he'd get beat up for 5 minutes, and then he'd start pumping his arms and shaking his head. I thought he looked like he was special when he did it, but other fans got all jacked about it. I used to roll my eyes even as a little kid, like, oh, come on, just punch him in the face. And then nothing could hurt him, so he wouldn't sell a single move. It was just hard to watch. If I had a disappointment outside of what I've told you about, there was no
girls,
no Sasha, no Alexa, no Bailey, and there was just the one women's match, and there were so many matches that I felt were kind of throwaways that I was kind of bored during, and they were piss break matches. You'd see people getting up and leaving during the matches.
So many people all through the whole thing just wandering around.
I know there's people who are going to make the comment of, well, Roman sells merch, so Roman's a big draw. There were a lot of people left during that main event. When it was the last event I went to, and the main event was Shinsuke Nakamura against Jinder Mahal, I didn't see people going for the exits at all. But for this main event, there were a lot of people headed for the exits. It was kind of sad.
Before that, the people that sat next to us, they left.
We had guys sitting next to us.
Intermission.
There was a guy that asked me, he said, how long does this go for? And I said, well, it's about 3 hours. It'll probably go to 10:30, and they left. It was 8:45, and they left.
It was just before the intermission that they left.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And then for merchandise, I got a couple of shirts, and I got a pair of AJ Styles gloves. But what upset me was I got the tour shirt and I got the Shield shirt, which is ironic because I don't like Roman Reigns, but I love Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, so I'll deal with it. The sad part was the merchandise too. They didn't have any of the women's stuff either.
No. Well,
so there's this women's revolution going on, and when they had a vote during the night of which WrestleMania match would you want to watch, the women won by a landslide.
Yes.
So fans wanted to watch them, and yet the merchandise isn't there for the women. So I'm gonna have to go to WWE's website and order.
No, they only had the one shirt when we first got there.
Yeah, they had a Bailey shirt, the Hugger shirt, and then other than that, they had nothing.
Didn't even have Asuka, which I was really surprised.
There was no Asuka shirts unless they somehow sold out. I saw people there wearing them.
I looked when we were coming in.
Yeah. No, it was not fun. That was and it was generally a fun night for the most part, but there were just little disappointments, and I'd hoped to see Alexa Bliss, and I didn't. Yvonne took a lot of pictures, so she'll post those on social media. I'll probably throw some up on Twitter from her phone, and that was the night. So if you watched the show tonight, congratulations on braving the elements. The roads are kind of slick. I hope everybody gets home safe. The crowd was kind of obnoxious. I hope it didn't bother anybody, but it was kind of an obnoxious crowd.
Really wandering around.
Compared to Abbotsford.
Yes.
For the last event in Abbotsford, it was a pretty well-behaved crowd.
A few other wrestling shows, and I don't ever remember seeing just people standing up, walking around.
That was obnoxious. Yeah, no, that was pretty obnoxious, and there were some really loud, obnoxious drunks.
And there were people in the very front with signs that kept holding it up during the matches.
Yeah, and there were people blocking our vision, including security guards.
Yes, 4 of them just standing in front of us talking.
And the guy in front of us had to say something to one of them, so that one went over and told the others we should probably get out of the way. But
just weird.
You know, it was fun, and there's stuff you see at house shows where, and I've talked about this before, they're practicing for the pay-per-views, they're trying out things in front of a live crowd to see what works and what doesn't, and then the payoff is you watch the pay-per-view 2 weeks or 2 months later, and you see a spot performed and you go, I saw that, they tested that out in front of me, that feels kind of cool. So, yeah, there you go. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to be hitting the highway pretty quick here. And then...
in 400 meters, take the British Columbia 1 East exit toward Hope.
So, yeah, wish us luck in getting home. Of course, if you're watching this, it means we got home in one piece. Thank you guys, though, for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through and you enjoyed this 11.5, almost 12-minute video on me talking about watching WWE in Vancouver tonight. So, yeah, we can't. We're on the bridge. My phone's trying to kill us. Anyways, while the phone's trying to kill us, thank you guys for watching again, and I'll talk to you again soon.